going back to this point about education, why did you feel that it wasn't that important to go and university degree and blah 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 blah? Yeah, because it's very evident you're a free spirit. You know, I mean, I'm sure the listeners are establishing that in their own mind right now as well. But you're really smart. You're really, really smart. You know, some people think you need to have the education to achieve things in life. There is a lot of entrepreneurs who famously dropped out of university and don't really have a lot of very, very astute entrepreneurs who are dyslexic. A lot of, who can't read and write. And they've done incredibly well. What was it for you that was saying education isn't that important?
Yeah. I'm probably going to receive a lot of hate for this, but I think university degree is to show your potential employer that you went to one place 4 years, let's say, and you're probably not going to fuck up his business because you're going to show up there and do something.
I like that. My friend here in Cheshire, I'm sure he won't mind me shouting him out, Jim Whitty. He helps and coaches and mentors young people going through university, and he gave a classic example of working with a young person and saying, how important do you think your degree is going to be to, I think it was Merrill Lynch or somebody like that. And he said, well, of course it is. It's going to be amazing. And he said, there's probably 1,000 people behind you with that same degree. What's going to differentiate you? You know, and when he works with people, it's really to explain that, work experience, proven track record. And more employees are not, of course, the degree in certain professions is critical. But in many, it isn't as big a deal as perhaps we're being led to believe. And in fact, there's a trend now, isn't there, where more students are grasping opportunities where companies will give them the chance to get in and start actually being amongst the weeds is my term, but actually, learning their craft in employment whilst completing their education as well. So you've got this multifaceted approach. And I think, if I've heard you right, you're alluding to the fact that it shows you've completed a process and a discipline, but not actually that much else.
Yes, that's true. I mean, I have people now applying to my opening job roles who have an MBA.
Okay. Impressive.
What I want to touch upon, I think education is important.
So do I.
Important in a sense that you always have to continually keep learning. But you need to find your own way how to learn, right? Like if you are struggling with a specific, and I'm talking about business here. I'm not talking about medicine or lawyers or business specifically. You have to understand key trends, right? Like if you don't understand accounting, you're already behind of the game. You have to understand some basic fundamentals there is to do in business. When it comes to sales, to marketing, to different types of these more commercial roles, you also need to know what's happening in the market. I constantly keep myself updated through books, reading books, through YouTube videos, through my own due diligence, reading McKinsey white papers to understand like what's happening right now to keep yourself competitive, right? In that sense, and help to give the best offer for the clients in my case. Now, when it comes to, and I worked in corporates and I worked at a big four and other firms as well. What I didn't like is that there was always a manager who kept telling me what to do. And I always knew that like maybe there is more efficient way to do it or maybe more better way, and that everybody should build on their own strengths rather than just put in a one role and just like being in it. I learned most of my craft and most about business through experience in other companies and through experience of doing business myself. That was the most I've learned, because you get and you grasp the real industry, like how is everything working. You cannot like learn fully from the books. It's passive learning. When you actually apply it, that's when you learn. Yeah. So I'm saying education is important, but I'm not saying, I mean, if you have a discipline to learn a craft yourself, good for you, right? But if you don't, and you need fundamentals, it's probably good to go to university. It depends from your personality, and you have to be quite like reflective on that. But yeah, I don't particularly say that universities had a big impact for what I'm doing now.